back in 2016, we always said, hey, look, businesses are going to do what is best for their business. And the thing is, us leaving the customs union and single market was going to be bad for business. It makes exporting or even importing stuff from the EU just that much harder. We had almost an open border. Well, yeah. Literally being able to send stuff to and back across the channel so very easily. We didn't have to fill out any paperwork because we were all in the same single market customs union, so everyone was following the same rules and regulations. Level playing field. And now, of course, as we've said and even covered on this channel many times, we've covered businesses who have lost 30 to 40% of their business. Some even more than that. We covered just yesterday, there was a fishing company, again, voted for Brexit. And part of me is, well, we told you so. But the other part of me is sad because it's a business that they've been building up since 2012. So there is an element of sadness for me there that they got, tricked along with the rest of them. And they've lost 60% of their business because it was exporting to the EU. But we told them, hey, look, if you do this, if you back this, it's a dumb idea. And remember, not everyone in the farming industry, in the fishing industry, did back this idea. And I think that we must move away from being mean about it. While it's funny to laugh at the end of the day, those are people's livelihoods and jobs that they have lost. And unfortunately, we are turning to Newark now with MP Robert Jenrick, again, committed hardcore Brexiteer himself, who said that Brexit would not be a problem, that none of this stuff would happen. And yet, in his own constituency, a company is now moving to the EU, and that area is losing over 100 jobs. And that's a lot of jobs for a town like Newark to lose. And, I hope the local economy can obviously absorb that amount of jobless people. But the fact that they have expressly put it down to we're moving away because it is down to Brexit, it's down to all these imports. And yet Robert Jenrick, again, pro-Brexiteer, is, quote, as we'll find out, deeply disappointed by this. Well, we told you, Jenrick, what would happen. You said this was Project Fear. It's now happening in your own backyard. And once again, this isn't in national news. This isn't a local newspaper because this is where most of these stories are turning up, not in the national newspapers yet. But again, it's more job losses to be added to the Digby Jones job loss index. So let's go jumping into this. Please do remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, down below, there are links to my Patreon page and a one-off donation link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can, buy me a coffee. And as always, thank you very much to all those people who do support the channel that way. So on with this. This comes from the Newark Advertiser, with the title of Newark MP Robert Jenrick expresses disappointment. Disappointment. And of course, Good Life Foods' decision to move manufacturing abroad. The MP for Newark has expressed his disappointment at the decision by a major town food manufacturer to shut up shop and move its production to mainland Europe, with a loss of over 100 jobs. Robert Jenrick said that he would be writing to Dawn Foods UK Limited, where the trade, which trades as Good Life Foods on Newark Industrial Estate, with the disappointment and, of course, to try and seek assurances that staff were being supported. Good Life Foods will cease manufacturing in Newark in its only UK manufacturing base on May the 6th. The vegetarian food manufacturer that supplies products to Waitrose, Sainsbury's, Tesco, and Ocado, of course, Mr. Jenrick said, I'm very disappointed with the company's decision and, of course, concerned for the employees involved. Well, you were told, Jenrick, committed Brexiteer that you are, that this would happen. You said this was Project Fear, that this would never happen, that this was madness. No business, no UK businesses are going to move their business out back to the EU. That's just simply madness. Well, it's happening now right in your own backyard. And to be honest, while again, this is obviously deeply concerning for the people who work there in Newark, the only person the people of Newark should be blaming, and I hope that they do, is Mr. Jenrick, because he said this would never happen. But there you go. I'll be making contact with the company to try and seek assurances as to how they are supporting staff and that they are letting go. With the cost of living crisis, Mr. Jenrick said it will be a very worrying time for those workers. Fortunately, the employment market in Newark, the area is very currently strong, so I'm hopeful that they will find other opportunities to be available. And I hope so as well. But again, the fact that they lost the job is your fault, Jenrick. But then again, here we go. As reported again by the Advertiser online yesterday, the company said that further to the announcement made on January the 13th, we have now completed the collective and individual consultations with our colleagues on ways to avoid avoiding the proposed Newark site closure, or at least to try and minimize the impact. Unfortunately, no suitable or viable alternatives have been found, and therefore the decision has been taken to close the UK manufacturing site in Europe and to subsequently move all volume into our group production facilities in mainland Europe. Again, Brexit happened of this, as they are about to say right here. The decision has been driven by the challenging trading conditions that we have experienced in the UK market over the recent years. So Brexit, I wish they should have just said Brexit. It would have been, you know, far more obvious. But the fact that trading conditions, well, what's been affecting trading conditions the most? It's been Brexit in the market past the UK years, and we believe that we would continue to face in 2022 and beyond. Again, Brexit, if you're facing it in 2022 and beyond, again, COVID's over, according to Mr. Jenrick, so the only thing they're moving for is Brexit. But there you go. And of course, by moving our production out of the UK, we can leverage the benefits of the scale of efficiencies that the wider group can offer. We will continue to manufacture our products at Newark site at least at the closure date of May the 6th, 2022. Leading up to that date, we're working very closely with our supporting colleagues in Newark to find alternative employment outside Good Life Foods, which is good of them. Also better known as Newark as Dalton's, the food manufacturer's name was changed to Good Life Foods in 2016. Its Warrington site shut down a few years ago and all operations were moved to Newark. So, again, obviously very, very bad news, obviously, for the people of Newark and, of course, those losing their jobs. You know, you have my sympathies, you know. But the person to blame for all this and the reason why they are moving is Brexit. Let's make that no clear. They've pretty much said it themselves. Trading conditions experienced for the past 2 years from 2020 and beyond. Well, again, Brexit's the only thing that's going to affect this company from 2022 and beyond. And as we've said before, other companies will be looking at making similar moves. So my advice to the people of Newark is blame Robert Jenrick. Robert Jenrick is the problem. He was the guy who was hardcore Brexiteer, saying that none of this will happen. You know, but now it's happening in his own backyard. That company is moving because of Brexit and no other reason. And there's no other person to blame except Mr. Jenrick and the rest of those Brexiteers in Parliament, who hopefully at the next general election are going to get an absolute kicking. You know, fingers crossed. But of course, as always, thank you very much for watching. Please do remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, down below there are links to my Patreon page and a donation link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can, well, buy me coffee. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you all next time.